Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of News Lounge. I'm Gaofei. Today we have invited a video blogger from Colombia, Fernando, and what a coincidence, his Chinese name is also Gaofei. Over the past 4 years, he has traveled more than 150,000 kilometers through rural China, capturing the look of the Chinese countryside on video. After being posted on platforms like YouTube, his videos have drawn wide attention. What drew him to embark on the rural journey, and what message does he hope to convey to the world through this approach? And how does the China he has witnessed firsthand differ from the China portrayed by Western media? He's currently in Guangdong province, so we will be connecting with him online for today's dialogue between Gaofei and Gaofei. Hello, Gaofei. Nice to see you here.
Hi, Gaofei. Nice to see you.
Yeah, could you please introduce yourself to our audience and say hi to them?
Of course, my name is Fernando Munoz Bernal, and I'm a Colombian entrepreneur. I've been living in China since the end of the year 2000. I've worked for the most part in education, and back in 2022, I semi-retired and decided to start traveling this country that I now call home. That's a very, very brief introduction. Married with a child, also a permanent resident of China, which is something that I'm very proud of as well.
Yeah, thank you. I know you came to China in 2000 and have stayed for over 2 decades. So what made you choose to remain in China back then?
It was an opportunity to see the vision that the country had. And I felt like this is special. This is a place that knows what it wants and knows where they're going. I want to be a part of that.
I'm very curious about your traveling experience in rural China. I know that over the past 4 years, you have traveled more than 150,000 kilometers. So when did you start cycling across China, and what prompted you to embark on this journey?
When my wife and I decided to stop operating our business and retire, or semi-retire, I told her, like, let's just go see the country. Let's go see your country, because she is Chinese. As in, not too many people have been to those places, and not too many people know a little bit of the history of China or China as a whole, to be able to give some sort of educated commentary. So I think that that's what makes my content a little bit different.
That's why we say that seeing is believing.
Exactly.
Yeah, so among all the rural areas that you have visited, which one is most impressive for you, or what touches you most?
This is difficult to answer because I don't have a single one. But if I had to answer, you would probably understand my reason. But I find the rural areas of Yunnan particularly close to my heart because it is so similar to Colombia. From the topography to the flora, to the food, it's not just like Colombia. There's so many minorities. You see all the different clothing, all the different music, even again the food, the dialects. It's all there, alive. It's not the only place where you have minorities. Guangxi, Xinjiang, all over the country, you can see these pockets of culture that is preserved.
During your rise, so what striking changes did you see with your own eyes in China's countryside? Because you must have a picture before you came to China, right? So after going to so many places, what's your impression now? And how do they differ from the image of rural China often presented in Western media?
I have to tell you up front that when I came to China, I knew so little, not even how to say ni hao. And once I landed in Shanghai, and I felt like this is nothing like I had pictured before. What I imagine, and basically that comes from reference from media that we see back home. I was expecting everybody to be on bicycles. I was expecting everybody to be wearing just these suits, traditional Chinese suits, and that was not the case. So I was very, very surprised. And when you go to the countryside, one of the things that surprised me the most is the quality of the dwellings, the quality of the homes and houses of people. Most of the houses are brick and mortar. They're just solid. Most people live in proper homes. Now, as you start looking around, what you see is, well, there's a road to this home. There's roads around all these villages and all. You look a little bit closer, and then you see that there's water heaters, there's air conditioners, there's solar power. It's very common to see all this in rural areas of China. And the last thing that I would say is when I was traveling, I visited so many, and no matter where I am, I get 5G, no matter where I am in the country. So that it's another aspect that is remarkable from the development of rural areas. Because when you connect rural areas with roads, with infrastructure, with high-speed rail, with internet, now those areas have a possibility to develop, to change how they used to live and improve their lives. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Every region is different, but the path is there. The possibility is there. You have what you need to change your life. So as a Colombian, it's something that I aspire to one day maybe experience in my country. There's so much that we could learn from them, from China and how they do things, that I hope one day to become a bridge between my country and China and share a few insights onto how things are done here that work so well.
Yeah, you have mentioned Xinjiang for several times just now, and I know that you have visited Xinjiang 10 times maybe, and even driven extensively through 40 counties and cities across northern and southern Xinjiang. So in your view, how Xinjiang rural village is different from those in other parts of China? And people in the world are misguided by some Western media about Xinjiang's image. So in your eyes, what Xinjiang is truly like?
Okay, let's start bit by bit. The first part about the rural areas of Xinjiang. Xinjiang is enormous, is one of the largest provinces or areas of China. So as such, it has many different regions with very different weather, very different terrain. And that, of course, is going to affect both the culture and the food and the traditions, because they're kind of like divided by the Tian Shan Mountains.
What about the people there?
The people are some of the kindest people that I have seen. And it led me to think about why that is. And obviously, Xinjiang used to be part of the Silk Road, which meant it was a place where you would welcome merchants, yeah, and give them food and give them water and give them a place to stay and trade a little bit. So that the welcoming spirit goes hundreds of thousands, maybe hundreds of years, or maybe thousands of years, and it's still there. Countless experiences where the locals would not let me pay for my food. I'll go to a restaurant, order something, go to pay, and no, somebody already paid for you. Like, what are you talking about? No, 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 no. You're a foreigner. You're a guest. Welcome. Like, out of nowhere, and you don't even know who paid for you. So this, perhaps to connect to something that you were asking me about, the misrepresentation of Xinjiang in the West, it's perhaps one of the most important regions in China today and in the future, Xinjiang. Xinjiang is the corridor that is going to connect China to Europe through the Central Asia railways. A lot of the exports that are going out of China to Europe go through Xinjiang. These ports, these railways are becoming more and more important each day. And all the different countries that this route touches and stops is back to that Silk Road, to the little bit of trading. Give us some of this, we give you some of that, and that keep on going to Europe, and the same coming back. It's a very important part of China. There's also, maybe a lot of people don't know this, but there's some oil reserves. Haramai is a place that's very important for oil exploration. So you can understand the reason why some Western countries would want to disturb the development of Xinjiang. It is in their interest that this region doesn't prosper. You've got people attacking Xinjiang in every single aspect with economic sanctions, with, for example, the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act of the United States. When you think about that particular piece of legislation in the United States, it's a complete 180 on the principles of justice. Justice in the United States is based on innocent until proven guilty. Well, the UFPLA basically says you're guilty until you prove your innocence. Whatever comes out of Xinjiang is made with forced labor until you're able to prove that that is not so. It's a reversal of the judicial system that is the basis of, well, the law. It's as if we had gone back to the witches of Salem, when you're a witch and we'll test you, and if you're not a witch, then you will be able to survive. But no, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. But Xinjiang is treated differently. You're guilty until you're proven innocent. And the sad truth about this is that they've tried so many things. They've tried so many things. First, it was the accusations of a genocide. It's very interesting to see a genocide where the population of Uyghur actually increases. It has increased over the decades. Explain that. Then they said, oh no, it's cultural genocide. Well, there's Uyghur language absolutely everywhere. There's Uyghur language in the banknotes of China. There's Uyghur language on the radio, on the TV. And then you have politicians and pundits literally lying on camera to their audiences and their constituents about things like that. Well, they use language to convey that. For example, one of the most important voices against Xinjiang, against China, is an anthropologist, a PhD from Cambridge University, a German called Adrian Senz. And in some videos, what he has said is, and I'm paraphrasing, from the documents that I obtained, it is said that it is forbidden to speak Uyghur language in Xinjiang. So if you step back and take a moment to listen to what he said, from the documents that I obtained, he's not saying, this is what I say, he's saying, this is what I read. But if you are a researcher with a PhD from Cambridge, what does it take for you to turn on a radio in Xinjiang? What does it take for you to turn on a TV in Xinjiang and listen to Uyghur language? It doesn't make absolute nothing. It just doesn't make sense. And I apologize to our viewers. I am Latino and my blood rises up quite quick, but let's be a little bit more calm about this. None of the accusations that have been made against Xinjiang have been able to be proven. You look at the United Nations Human Rights Report of 2022, you cannot find the word genocide. You cannot find the word, you run a search on that paper for the word genocide, zero. It's not mentioned. But then people are out there talking about the Xinjiang genocide. It doesn't exist. When you search that document for the different accusations about Xinjiang that take place in Xinjiang, most of them are prefaced by words of uncertainty. This could be happening. This may be happening. It is likely. It is reported. It is said. There's zero certainty in what they are reporting. The same could be said about anything. So people have to start looking at the message that they're being sold about Xinjiang, because you will start finding these little flaws and these little tricks to send a message that is not true. But beyond all of that, come to Xinjiang. It's that simple. You don't need a special permit. You don't need a special visa. You don't need anything. Now, with China removing all these visa requirements to so many countries around the world, just come, get on a plane, go to Xinjiang, travel, and see for yourself.
Wow, thank you. I have to say that what you said and what you have done is very, very inspiring. Yeah, just as you said, Xinjiang is right there and waiting for you to explore. Just to come and have a look. Yeah, thank you. So will you continue cycling through China's rural areas, and what are your future plans?
Well, I have become a father for the first time. So my baby is
Wow.
a few months old. So I'm just hoping that by the time he is able to hold his neck up, we can get back on the road and keep on riding. I really enjoy being out there in the countryside, talking to people, seeing people, learning things and seeing things that I haven't seen. And I enjoy making content. And when I have a final product, being able to share it to people.
Congratulations to be the father. And maybe you'll have your family trip
Thank
later
you.
in the future.
Yes.
Yeah, but you'll continue to tell the China's story to the world, right?
Yes, that's the idea. I've gone through different phases. At a time, I thought that it's very important for me to let people know, and I need people to know, and I need people to see. Like, unfortunately, well, we are trying to do this in Western platforms. So if there's something that they don't like the truth that I can present from Xinjiang, then they are able to tone down and put a thumb on the scale and slow down your content. I had about 45,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and I was getting 200 views, 300 views, something that is just illogical. It just doesn't make sense. There's still one more thing. I think that when people think about rural areas and they think, oh, they live with very little money, they're so poor, I think that the world needs to redraw a definition of the word poor when it comes to China. Wherever you go, you see that they have homes, they have sustenance, they have water, they have roads.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today in this
pleasure.
dialogue, Fernando. Thank you again.
Okay, good. My pleasure.
Yeah.